Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Partly sunny today, quite hot this afternoon with a high of 95 degrees. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Humidity increases with a low of just 75. Some sunshine tomorrow with an afternoon high of 90 for the solar eclipse. Then mostly cloudy and humid Tuesday with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Any thunderstorm can be severe with an afternoon high of 86 degrees. I'm meteorologist Steve Travis for FM News Talk 97.1.
Honey, it's time to leave for the game. Are you still in the basement? We're going to be late.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to clean up the water from last night's rain. These cracks in the basement walls aren't getting any better.
I told you to call Midwest Basement Tech. They fixed our neighbor's basement and it's been dry ever since. And Midwest Basement Tech even guarantees it.
Don't miss another second of your favorite game because of basement or crawl space problems. Call Midwest Basement Tech at 1-800-848-9805 or visit us on the web at MidwestBasementTech.com for money-saving coupons. You don't have to live with leaks, cracks, and mold in your basement. We work year-round and our estimates are free. Does your home's foundation have bowed or cracked walls? This could be a sign of foundation failure. Call now for a free expert analysis of your home's foundation problems. Serving both sides of the river. Call us at 800-848-9805 for your local service tech or on the web at MidwestBasementTech.com.
Listen to what Jeff says about Andro 400.
This product is so much better than even some of the advertisements. It's changed every aspect of my life. I was a 40 waist, and with the Andro 400, I'm down to 36. I'm 54 years old, and people have said to me that I look better than I ever have, and that I look like I'm in my early 40s. Hands down, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm telling you, it's the Andro. People immediately notice the burst of energy, my skin, my energy, plus the weight loss, the toning of the body, and the increased strength and endurance that I have in the gym. Where I was and where I am now, night and day. And Andro 400 has made the difference. My customers, my friends, my family, everybody's noticing the difference.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger like Jeff, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Andro400.com.
Attention, this is an investor notice. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? Then listen to this. The Government Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit which contains 2 DVDs and a step-by-step report that will show you how to earn guaranteed returns between 15 and 35% yearly, which is completely secured by the government. They'll even show you how to do this inside your own retirement accounts. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without risk, call 1-800-597-8179 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for pennies on the dollar and buy houses for as low as $500, all from your home with little or no money, working only 5 to 10 hours per week. Call 800-597-8179 right now to get your free tax lien kit plus 2 free tickets to a live training event and a free $20 Visa gift card just for attending. Call 800-597-8179. That's 800-597-8179 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
But not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me.
I stand with the president.
He doesn't know right from wrong.
Our hearts are in Charlottesville. The president has denounced
racism, bigotry.
They're idiots.
The news and talk station for St. Louis.
To renegotiate NAFTA.
Mexico believes sanctuary jurisdictions across this country.
FM News Talk 97.1.
We are not going backwards.
Younger, smarter, better.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And when they come on the sideline, and they go like this, I don't see the toilet white
so I'm back up live with what's going on downtown, trying to keep y'all posted with both of the pages on my personal page and my senior work pages, Real CL News page also of what's going on downtown. Protesters and police brutality as well as and racism. And standing in solidarity with Charlottesville, if I said it correctly, hopefully I did, but this is what's going on downtown St. Louis. Right now we on Washington heading towards Broadway.
Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. That is audio from the protest that was going down Washington Avenue today in St. Louis, down Washington Avenue, downtown St. Louis. That's Dirk Brown. It was his live Facebook feed. He's found himself at a lot of these protests and generally does a live stream, and it kind of gives you the window into what's going on there. He says that the protests downtown are to represent standing with Charlottesville, and they go on to chant, "No justice, no peace." We've heard that. And if you want to weigh in, I'd love to talk to you today, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. So no justice, no peace. And then one of the other things they chant later on is, whose streets, our streets. I would assume, putting the best construction on everything, that our streets means all of our streets, not just theirs. So the climate in the country right now is highly tense. It's highly focused on a race war or perceived race war. And my question for you today is, are you buying into this, or do you feel as though the strings from the puppet master, whether the puppet master is the white supremacists or the Antifa folks or the Black Lives Matter folks or the Trump administration or, the Maxine Waters of the Al Sharptons, who we shockingly have not heard from, is he okay? Has anyone checked on him to see what he's doing and if he's doing all right? So people across the country are now having to respond to this. This is the thing about what happened last week in Charlottesville. The white supremacists, who are horrible, horrible people, just based upon what they said, the words that you could hear from their mouths at Charlottesville. These people are dirt, and they're using the First Amendment to show the world how dumb they are. I'm actually grateful that we have this First Amendment, just from the capacity of allowing these people to show their true colors, because then we don't have to assume one thing, or we don't have to be fooled by an act of somebody who we may have known to be something maybe a little more normal, maybe a little more human. But we have folks who have used the First Amendment, which the First Amendment allows you. It allows you free speech. It allows you to dissent. It allows you to disagree. It allows you to be angry, and that's what they were doing. And the message that they had, the white supremacists, the Nazis, is this really a conversation in 2017 that we're having? The message that they had was disgusting. But what frustrates me is now, because they've come out and they've said the things that they've said about black people, about Jews, basically anybody who isn't as lily white as they are. Now, since they've said that, now I have to weigh in because my skin is white. Isn't this a reversion of where we should be right now? Isn't this moving backwards at the speed of light from where we have come previously? Is any of this helping anything? And the more that we give our attention to these types of groups, the more that we magnify their message, the more the media seeks out these fringe groups and puts them under the microscope of their camera so that they can show them to the entire country and then inflate the importance and validity and of the size of their message, not their message, but the size of their message. It's a process of legitimizing this insanity. And if you're listening and you're white, Now you have to weigh in. Isn't it unfortunate that if you have friends who aren't as white as you might be, or if you're black and you have friends that aren't as black as you might be, isn't it unfortunate now because these crazy people are out saying their crazy things and it's being inflated by a media that is invested in the chaos? Isn't it sad that due to the color of your skin only, you need to be on record about where you stand on what these other folks who have the same color of your skin say? Isn't it sad that as a white person right now, I have to say that the message that we came out of Charlottesville is horrifying. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. Isn't that sad? But because if I choose not to take that stand, the assumption is, and the assertion would be from somebody else, that if I'm silent, then maybe she agrees with them. Maybe she thinks that's okay. If you know me, if you take the time to understand the kind of person I am, or have already known me, you would know that obviously I think that it's beyond moronic what went down in Charlottesville. It's horrible. It's hateful. But I have to say that now because the media has once again invested itself into the middle of chaos to try to instigate more, and it's working. There are more protests. There are more people who are seeking out the spotlight. There are more people who want to be out there to scream a message to the world. And in some cases, the message is determined by the opportunity. It's not even a message that they've been stomping about for quite some time. They just have an opportunity. And the climate that we have right now in our culture, the climate that we have right now in our cities, we're encouraging people to take that opportunity. And it's really sad. There's a lot of people who have been talking about this. I wanted to highlight Charles Barkley, of all people. Charles Barkley, an NBA player, former NBA player, black man, who has been outspoken on a lot of political issues over the course of his post-athletic career, had this to say about the statues.
I'm not going to waste my time screaming at a neo-Nazi who's going to hate me no matter what. I think if you ask most black people, to be honest, they ain't thought a day in their life about those stupid statues.
The statues are a placeholder for the tantrums that are currently being instigated by politicians and by the media right now. The statues are the placeholder. It's the current de jour opportunity for folks who have a problem, who have a complaint, to act like children and throw tantrums until they get their way. Now, you and I could have an intellectual conversation about whether or not these statues should remain. Do you think that they should remain? Do you think that it's important that we have Confederate statues in our country that remind us of the Confederacy? Or to remind us of specific people who served in the Confederacy, who led people to their death to fight to preserve the Confederacy? Lots of people say it's about state rights. Lots of people say that the folks who were fighting and living in the Confederacy were interested in states' rights. They didn't want this federal system to take over and have a centralized government making a bunch of decisions for a bunch of people everywhere. They wanted to keep the power local. Well, that's part of it. But part of the reason why they were fighting for states' rights was so that states could continue to be slave states. So you cannot separate slavery from the Civil War. You can't do it. And when you look at the Civil War, and if you got to hear the think tank earlier this week, was on Dave Glover's show in the 5 p.m. hour, and you can go to his podcast at 971talk.com, and also it'll be up on my podcast as well. You can hear the conversation that I had. It was a little over an hour segment. And I talked with Charlie Tuna, who's a black man, and Jimmy Griffin, who's the lead in El Monstero. They're both Democratic, liberal, progressive-minded people, and I was the lone conservative in the room. But we have this question in front of us. How are we going to react, and what can be done? And my question is, what good does the removal of these statues do? Now, as a white person living in middle America, it's very hard for me to say, all of these statues need to stay. And the reason these statues need to stay is because we need to remember our history. And if that statue comes down, we're going to forget about Robert E. Lee. And we cannot do that to our kids. It's hard for me to stand there and say that when a black person could be standing there with their 7-year-old and say, I want to tell you something about Robert E. Lee. And you can talk about that. You can have that conversation. And you can tell your 7-year-old son, who happens to also be black, that Robert E. Lee is a man who a long time ago fought and led people in battle to preserve states' rights, which could in turn preserve slavery. Isn't that an interesting conversation to have? Isn't it interesting to teach our children where we were so that we can remember where we're going? But that's just one scenario. If that black father and black son are walking through a park and that causes strife for that black family, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it means to be African American and see a statue, a monument to somebody who fought to keep my ancestors enslaved. I don't know what that's like. So it's hard for me to go there and say that these statues have to stay. I just don't feel like I have the strong argument to make them stay. However, I will also add to that, I want to ask anybody who says take those statues down, I want to say, what will change when that statue is gone? What is the one thing, what is the important part of removing that statue from its place that is going to affect real change in our country? Mark, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think? Mark, you there?
Yes, I am.
What do you think? Statues stay or go?
Like I said, I go back and forth on it, and the argument somebody gave me was, I understand they're offensive to people. I can understand why they're not for it. But okay, what's the gateway arch? The gateway to the west. What's that mean? Well, that means we killed a lot of Indians. Well, if we're going to tear down Confederate statues, well, you can make the argument, tear down the gateway arch.
Yeah. And that goes back to my question. If we do take down, if we remove any statue, what happens? What is made better now that statue is gone?
I don't know that anything is. And then again, how far back in history you want to crawl? It's like, okay, should we just take down George Washington and Jefferson? They had slaves. I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, Mark, I think is important? You're calling this show not with an opinion to say these statues need to stay or these statues need to go. You're calling in and saying, you know what, I go back and forth. And there are so many people like you and me as well. You're trying to come up with an opinion. And often when you're listening to the media or reading articles, you get a slanted article, you hear a slanted show, and it's like you find out what the conservative opinion is, and then you go with it. Or you find out what the liberal position is, and then you go with it. It's important to be like Mark and think about these things and understand what the repercussions are, how far the ripples go out, and make your own opinion.
Right, and here's what I say. So with the Confederate statues, like I said, I go back and forth. Let's say the city of Shreveport, if they decided to put a statue of Hitler in the park, everybody would be against it. Nobody would go for that. So I can understand the symbolism of the Confederate statues to some people.
Well, and the other thing I would say, and thank you very much for listening and for calling the show, Mark. I appreciate your call. The other thing I would say, people like to throw to the Hitler reference or any other people who lost wars. The thing that makes Confederate statues different is that those Confederate people lived here, and they were Americans. They were Americans who wanted to secede and create their own place, but they are our close ancestors. Hitler in Germany is in a different country, and he was fighting for something that was centralized to the people he could force into following him within his country. It was a German thing. It wasn't an American thing. That's what makes it different. Michael, real quick before I go to break here, thanks for giving us a call.
Yeah, what would go away is the statues are a symbol of what we as a society cherish, what we glorify. I don't believe that we ought to be glorifying, sending the signal that traitors to the country who fought for slavery are worthy of statues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's important to remember these statues, they weren't put up in 1865. They're putting up in the 20s and in the 50s and 60s. They're there to send a message of white supremacy, that's why they went up. So it's important that we send the message that that's not us anymore.
Michael, can I ask you a question? Just because I want to frame your opinion here, are you somebody who sympathizes with any of the people who are marching right now? Do you consider yourself more conservative leaning or liberal leaning?
I wouldn't get into either label, just because on some things I'm going to be more conservative, on some things I'll be more liberal.
More independent?
Yeah, I would say I'm more independent, but on this, you don't put up a statue of things you hate, of things you don't like. You don't put a statue of this horrible person on a steed looking gallant unless that's what you value. And we're showing by leaving these things up, these statues that were put up in places that have nothing to do with the Confederacy, in recent times, that these statues are symbols of white supremacy. That's why they're there. And as long as we leave them up, we're showing we still accept that.
All right, Michael, thanks for the call. It's an important perspective. We're going to keep talking about this throughout the course of the show. But up next, I have a guest coming on. Austin Peterson wants to challenge Claire McCaskill for her seat in the Senate in 2018. How nice would another Republican seat from Missouri look in the Senate? It's a huge, important race coming up in 2018, and Austin Peterson is one of the fine candidates in Missouri that would like the opportunity to do that. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what we were just discussing here and some other things that are important, maybe being a little overshadowed by the current events, but we're going to talk to him about all the important stuff coming up next. Austin Peterson on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Lend me your eyes, I can change what you see, but your soul you must keep totally free.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Log on to 971talk.com/Allman and you can watch the show live on the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam. Use your mobile device or computer to join the Allman in the Morning live stream. Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam, 971talk.com/Allman.
This is Sean Vincent, president of Vincent Mortgage. Our family has over 27 years of experience in the mortgage business. We know that experience is critical, but a solid, trustworthy reputation for providing a stress-free and seamless process, all while treating our clients with courtesy and respect, is the Vincent Mortgage difference. Just listen to what one of our clients has to say.
I felt like I had no options anymore, and Vincent Mortgage gave me options. I actually called right before a holiday weekend. They immediately started working on the process. They were always available for any of my questions, even on the weekends. They literally saved me $700 a month. They really made the process easy and effortless for me. Best experience I have had.
That's what sets Vincent Mortgage apart from others. Why would you go anywhere else? Call us today at Vincent Mortgage, 314-839-9999, or chat with us online at vincentmortgage.com. Again, that's vincentmortgage.com, or 314-839-9999. NMLS 225095, 12801 Flushing Meadows Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63131.
The Missouri Department of Conservation is celebrating 80 years of serving nature and you. Come to an open house with conservation leaders to hear about our history, priorities, and challenges, and offer your comments. Join us at a conservation center near you between August and October. The first 80 to arrive will receive a free book. Find locations, dates, and special events at MissouriConservation.org/open house.
Have your current tax issues been keeping you up at night? Hi, I'm Lance Drury, and I'd like to help you resolve your tax burden and finally have some peace of mind. Tax problems are legal problems. I'm a local tax resolution attorney with over 30 years of legal experience. I've helped hundreds resolve their issues with the IRS and Missouri Department of Revenue, and I can help you. We'll meet face-to-face right here at my office in St. Louis. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll work together on a strategy to resolve your tax problems, and just like a white oak, I have deep roots in tax resolution law. I know your rights, I know the law, and I get results. So if you've been accused of tax evasion, tax fraud, facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, act now. Go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com, or call me, Lance Drury, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Sometimes, what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises, no anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. That bit of nothing is everything. And that's what you get when you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from your authorized dealer. Because only an authorized Mercedes-Benz dealership has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Only Mercedes-Benz can back their certified pre-owned vehicles with an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, with roadside assistance included. It's time to experience confidence that's as unlimited as the warranty. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event now through August 31st, and you'll receive 2 years of prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Our cruise to Hawaii, transmission issues, our daughter's wedding in Mexico, it's all behind us now. But the high-interest debt is still there, and the buildup still nags at me. But with Discover Personal Loans, the craziest thing happened. It all smoothed out.
Lighten your load with Discover Personal Loans, where you can consolidate your high-interest debt into one payment at a fixed rate that could be lower than what you pay now, saving you more money. Check your rate and monthly payment today with no impact to your credit score at discoverpersonalloans.com.
Conversations about free speech need to happen, but those aren't even the conversations going on right now.
99% of Republicans don't agree with any of this crap.
You want these people to be exposed for their stupidity.
If you're thinking about it, we're talking about it.
I'm not like a super Trump supporter. I'm not. I just am getting sick and tired of the left dictating the talk.
Hear about it, talk about it.
At some point, we got to move on with our lives. And shutting down free speech is not the way to do it.
You can't pass legislation to make somebody love you.
FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
It's Donald Trump's fault that they're feeling energized. It's Obama's fault that Black Lives Matter is violent. Both of you children, to your room. It's
Candace Williams there, who is kind of, I think Rush Limbaugh tweeted out one of her videos that she did, and she did not have a big following, but she's gaining one very quickly. Reached out to her to try to get her on the show and waiting to see if she can get back to me. But she makes a good point there. The whole world seems to be consumed by this race debate right now, and everyone wants to blame the politicians, and everybody has a corner that they want to send everybody else to think about what they've done. And we have Austin Peterson on right now, who's running for Claire McCaskill's Senate seat, trying to get the Republican candidacy to do that. Austin, thanks so much for giving us some time.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you think? You've got libertarian roots. So my main question is, what can government do or not do in order to help calm what we're experiencing as a country? Because it seems like it's getting worse and worse weekly.
There isn't a whole lot government can do other than to keep the peace, I would say, which we definitely didn't see in Charlottesville last week. I saw today in Boston some of the protests were getting a little bit out of hand, but it looks like the Boston police were on hand, ready to keep things pretty civil. But again, there weren't that many neo-Nazis at the march. It looked like it was mostly left-wing protesters for the most part. But I think that we need to respect free speech. Even idiots have free speech in this country. We don't have free speech that we can talk about the weather. We have free speech that we can talk about very politically incorrect, very dangerous things. So everybody deserves free speech rights. My problem is that Antifa and the left seem to be saying nowadays that speech is equivalent to violence, which is not true. And that is what is leading to violence. You saw that Nazi guy, Richard Spencer, getting punched in Washington, D.C., and all I can think is that makes him a martyr. You stop making martyrs out of neo-Nazis. The best way to treat neo-Nazis is to ignore them because they're craving attention, and we shouldn't give it to them.
I agree. They don't deserve just you don't have to hear very many sentences, complete sentences, if they can formulate them, come out of their mouth to understand that what they're saying is drivel and needs none of our attention. And, I contest that politicians seize on this type of strife in order to formulate votes for them down the road. Have you seen?
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. The best path for me, if I really, really wanted to get elected more than I cared about spreading liberty, in general in this race, would be if I would find some group that I could demonize, right? Pick a side, polarize it, find a way to divide people against one another, because people who are easily divided are more easily ruled. But I'm not seeking to be a ruler. I'm seeking to go and take power and return it to the people. That's my message, my root message. But unfortunately, the way our political system is designed right now, it's like it incentivizes politicians to go out and sow division amongst these groups rather than act as a unifying force for all Americans. And that's why we see all of this anger on both sides, which is totally unnecessary. I mean, it's not as even if we were in some economic period of total economic strife. I mean, the stock market is soaring. People should be happy. It's kind of like that Louis C.K. quote, right? Everything's amazing and nobody's happy. It seems like a bunch of bored teenagers on the internet and then 20 or 30 neo-Nazis with like 40 or 50 Antifa communists, and they're all trying to get everybody to go along with their game. We need to stop playing their game, and we need to come together as Americans and reject bigotry and reject violence.
The people who are really investing, the citizens listening to this show or paying attention to all the stuff that's going on across the country, you can ask Republicans, well, what do you think about all this? And they'll say, just like Candace Owens was saying there in that bite at the top of this segment, well, Obama created Black Lives Matter, and Obama is responsible for this, and eventually Obama is responsible for Antifa, and Donald Trump is responsible for all of these white supremacists. He's giving them a platform. Where is the leadership right now, specifically in the Republican Party? What do you think about how the Republican Party is being guided through not just race issues, but all issues? What do you think about the Republican leadership we have right now?
Well, I think sooner or later, Martin Luther King Jr. said, sooner or later, silence becomes betrayal. And, many of these politicians, almost all of them except for myself, live in gated communities, and they don't spend time out in the communities amongst the people. I've been a street activist, Annie. I went in the streets of New York City with, a Ron Paul brochure and was passing out literature to people. Mm-hmm. So, I've marched in the streets. I've been a demonstrator. I've attended rallies and protests and thrown them and organized them myself. So I feel like I'm pretty in touch with the people. And I'll tell you honestly, there are malign interests on both sides. I've been to Black Lives Matter protests. I've been to Tea Party protests. And there are always malign actors who are there trying to spread ideologies of hate, trying to recruit for their causes. And many times the leadership ignores them because they think, well, I don't want to lose support by calling out people in our own base. But if you remember, the great hero of conservative politics in the 1960s and 70s was Bill Buckley. And Bill Buckley was brave. He stood up to the malign influences within the conservative movement, and he had the courage to do so. Many of the conspiracy theorists and the people behind the McCarthy hearings and things like that, he had the guts to do that, to say, hey, we have some malign influences in our own party. We have got to get rid of those malign influences. And I'll tell you, they are there, but I do see a lack of leadership on this issue of people who are willing to call it out. You shouldn't wait. A lot of things, you can agree or disagree with Trump. You shouldn't wait 2 days to call out neo-Nazis. That should be easy. Mm-hmm. Somebody says, hey, do you support Nazis? Of course not. Just say that, right? Yeah. But on the left, they don't hold them to the same standards. They don't hold Trump to the same standards they hold themselves, or they don't hold themselves to the same standards they hold the Donald Trump. The left does not come out and say, hey, we reject Antifa. We reject these communists. They do not do that. So they are hypocrites on that issue. You do see conservative leaders now, people like Marco Rubio and Mitt Romney and others, and Donald Trump coming out and saying that we reject these malign influences. But you do not see that on the left. You just don't see it. So they are hypocrites.
I agree, and the left is relying on the folks that are incited by the rhetoric to vote for them. We're speaking with Austin Peterson, who is hoping to get the opportunity to challenge Claire McCaskill for the Senate seat here in 2018. A very wise man named Ronald Reagan once said the best social program is a job. And the Senate has had several opportunities the Republican Senate has had several opportunities to refine the way our country is working right now, specifically with health care, among other things, that would make employers have a better opportunity to employ more people. What do you think about their failure to repeal and replace Obamacare, and what would you have done if you would have been in there?
Well, healthcare is now an entrepreneurial job killer, right? It's because now people are more tied than ever to their jobs. 2 weeks ago, I'll tell you, and this is the second time my health insurance has been canceled. The first time it was canceled because Obamacare declared that my coverage was substandard and they demanded that I purchase more expensive health insurance. Now, 2 weeks ago, because of the lack of leadership on the health insurance front, I no longer can purchase health insurance on the individual market here in Kansas City. I have to go try and see if I can find a pool somewhere that I can buy into. I mean, this is killing small business owners like myself. This is one of the reasons why I'm running for office, is to call attention to this issue. And because of the lack of leadership on health care, because of the deceit by congressional Republicans who claimed that they would overturn Obamacare when they had the opportunity and who turned their back on us, now people like myself find themselves without insurance next year. I have to go find a way to get insurance next year and get into a marketplace, but it doesn't exist. I'll tell you this, though. Senator Rand Paul has taken leadership on this. He seems to have found some legislation which would authorize the president to perhaps take unilateral action that would allow small business owners like myself, people who are, they're jobbers, right? We go out in the marketplace and we seek contracts. Under the ERISA Act, ERISA, apparently the president could unilaterally have the authority to make it legal for people like myself to purchase insurance in pools, which is what we need. But we need more competition. That's the problem. You've only got maybe two providers in your area sometimes. That's because it's a cartel. That's because the government regulations have made it too difficult for us to purchase insurance across state lines. The insurance companies right now, because of the government holding the gun to their head, the insurance companies are turning around and saying, hey, if you're going to force us to provide this type of coverage, you have to force the citizen to purchase a minimum level of coverage so that we can ensure that our costs are covered. Because there's a difference between health care and health insurance. But when you're forcing people to be covered, that's not health care, that's not really, and that's not even insurance, that's welfare. And just call it what it is. And that's the problem, is that government is trying to call health insurance, it's called welfare health insurance. But we need more competition in the marketplace. We need to legalize competition, and we need to legalize inexpensive health insurance. Stop making me pay for services that I don't use. Let me purchase inexpensive health insurance. That's what I'm fighting for in my U.S. Senate race.
We're speaking with Austin Peterson, running for a U.S. Senate seat, currently occupied by Claire McCaskill. Last question. If Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins wouldn't have put their chips in the pot for Planned Parenthood, and if they would have voted with the rest of the Republicans to repeal and replace Obamacare and not support Planned Parenthood, we would have repealed and replaced it. Do you see yourself standing with them and Planned Parenthood, or do you see yourself standing more with the rest of the Republicans if you would have had an opportunity to cast a vote?
Well, as a pro-lifer, I absolutely cannot stand with Planned Parenthood because I cannot support that institution because I'm morally opposed. And also, I am opposed to have to be forced to pay for abortions. Now, that was the reason, ostensibly, why the skinny repeal also failed, was because it did include the defunding of Planned Parenthood. And maybe we could have had that in separate legislation, which I absolutely would have supported. But here's the deal. If I had been in the Senate versus Claire McCaskill, I could have been the deciding vote to pass that skinny repeal. Not only could we have passed at least a minimal repeal of Obamacare, but I also would have passed the repeal of funding of Planned Parenthood at the same time. So that's why I want to go to Washington, D.C., because Claire McCaskill, I don't believe, represents Missouri's conservative interests. I do. I am the fiscal conservative running right now. Even in the Republican primary, I will be the most fiscally conservative. You used that word libertarian earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and people sometimes are kind of trying to say, they're accusing me of being a libertarian. They're like, Austin, well, you're a libertarian. Well, that means I'm the fiscal conservative, and I freely confess I believe in liberty. I believe in what this country was founded on, and that's not the values of Planned Parenthood, who has endorsed my opponent, Claire McCaskill. That's not the free market in healthcare that I endorse and I support. I stand with Rand Paul. I stand with Mike Lee. I stand with Ted Cruz, and I will fight for liberty when I become the next U.S. Senator from Missouri.
Well, we have 25 of the 34 Senate seats that will be up for re-election in 2018 are Democrats. 25 of the 34 are Democrats who would like to retain their seats, and 10 of those 25 Democrats are running in red states, and challenging Claire McCaskill could be Austin Peterson. You can check out more about him personally at austinpeterson.com. And where else can people contact you? Where else do you like to interact with folks?
Yeah, Facebook's easy. AP, the number 4, Liberty, AP for Liberty on Facebook, as well as AP for Liberty on Twitter. And if you want to help me fire Claire, just type in fireclaire.net on your computer. You'll find me.
Well done. All right. Thank you, Austin Peterson, for your time. Good luck to you as you continue to work your way towards November 2018.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let's see here. We've got Helena, Linda, Ben, Rebecca all waiting to talk more about the culture stuff that we're dealing with. I want to hear what you think about Austin Peterson as well. I'd love to take your phone calls. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you fine folks in just a minute. At Annie Frey Show during the break on Twitter. If you want to weigh in, I can get you there too if you don't want to call. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter. We'll be back in just a second. Stay tuned.
Be my baby.
Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Frank Lita Acura with 0.9% financing going on now. Can't beat a Lita. Online at litaacura.com.
At Spectrum Business, we provide your business with the very best internet and voice solutions for less. What does that mean for you? It means your business gets faster internet, more advanced voice, and over 99.9% network reliability. It also means no added taxes or fees and no contracts, ever. Because at Spectrum Business, we believe in earning your business every day. Just call 866-200-6171 to get faster internet speeds up to 100 megabits per second for only $44.99 a month. And that's not all. You can also add advanced business voice with unlimited long distance and over 30 calling features for just $29.99 a month. It's all part of our commitment to redefining what a cable company can be. Call 866-200-6171 today and switch to Spectrum Business to get the best value for your business with faster internet and advanced voice. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. So are you going to have enough money to travel and be there when your first grandchild is born? Well, you can if you start planning now. Smart retirement planning includes knowing what will happen in all kinds of scenarios. How will your portfolio perform when we experience yet another, quote, market correction? You know, today it's easy to ignore things, and most people do, but not you. You want to know the best ways to thrive in any economy. So here's what you need to do today. Call 314-328-6000 right now. Call Heisey Advisory Group to have your retirement portfolio stress tested. 314-328-6000. When you meet with Ken Heisey and Steve Muller, you're going to learn what your risk is during a market correction. They treat you like family because they know that family moments, you know, like visiting your grandchildren, well, that's what's most important. Call 314-328-6000 right now.
Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, I'm Tammy of Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company Real Estate Team, and we want to be the realtors to help you buy or sell your next home. Are you thinking about selling your house? Well, now is the perfect time. Homes are selling faster than ever if they are priced right and well staged. We also know that buying a home is one of the biggest investments you may ever make, but that doesn't mean it has to be stressful. Our amazing team of full-time realtors can help guide you through the entire process from beginning to end, including setting you up with one of our 3 moving trucks so you can move for free. We are consistently ranked the #1 independent real estate team in southwestern Illinois. Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company Real Estate knows how to get things done. We sell a house every 30 hours. With over 22 years of experience, I am confident that we can help you accomplish your goals. I believe buying or selling a home is not just a transaction, it's a relationship. So whether you are buying a home or selling a home in the Metro East, go to calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
The Mark Cox Show.
Monday, we may be in the dark. We'll be broadcasting live at Sugar Creek Winery during the big eclipse. We'll have somebody from the Solar Eclipse Task Force.
Now, weekdays noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. I want to get straight to these calls here. 314-969-9797, 866-455-9797. Got an open line. Give us a call if you want to weigh in. I want to take Tim's call first. Tim, thanks for giving us a call.
Hello, are you there?
Yep. Go on.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, Robert E. Lee, Ulysses S. Grant, both attended West Point and graduated, okay? And when the South lost the war, Abraham Lincoln folded the flag respectively, the stars and bars, which was the war flag, you know, and presented Robert E. Lee with the stars and bars. Now, what the heck people all about? I think Abraham Lincoln's all pissed off now, I'll be honest with you. Look at what's going on now in this world.
Well, I mean, this is what I was talking about in the first segment, and I appreciate your opinion and your calling in here to talk to us about how you feel about this. I think that you are entitled to the way you feel when you see these statues, but just because you have an experience or an opinion on something doesn't really change how somebody else, specifically somebody who is black, would see.
I love black people.
Well, sure,
but
you
have. And I've got we got a graveyard out here with Civil War veterans in it, and we buried a Jewish friend of mine in 2011 right on the corner, and I helped set the stone with my tow truck. Weighed 5,500 pounds. You know, I've got nothing against nobody. You know.
Yeah.
But the stars and bars is history, okay? And Abraham Lincoln presented it to Robert E. Lee, you know. And he wanted it over with, and then he got shot. Didn't
Abraham Lincoln get shot before the war was over?
What's that?
Didn't Abraham Lincoln get shot before the war was over?
Hell no. Check it out.
Well, I appreciate your opinion and I appreciate your call in. I mean, the thing about Robert E. Lee that is more complicated than just fighting for the fact that the Confederacy was the pro-slavery of the two sides. Robert E. Lee lived in Virginia. He was not a pro-slavery general. He was not somebody who was out leading the charge against people who wanted to free slaves. But he was from a southern state, and he was a general in the United States Army. So when you have a general who is in the United States Army and he is going to, if he does what is asked of him as a general in the United States Army and fights with the Union, then he's going to fight. He's going to be forced to fight against his brothers, his blood, his family. So that doesn't make his opinion on and his efforts to preserve slavery in this country okay. But that does make it more complicated than just saying Robert E. Lee, Confederacy, Ulysses S. Grant, Union. So, I mean, it is complicated. But, again, one person, Tim's opinion and his respect for the Confederate flag, for whatever that Confederate flag stands for him, is as valid as somebody's disrespect for the Confederate flag. And in a culture where we work to live peacefully with one another, we learn to accept these things with which we still disagree with one another and have civil conversations about it. That's the way I see it. My opinion on the statues, if all these decisions were up to me, I would say leave the statues and surround them by the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, the three amendments that came out of the Civil War that freed slaves, made them citizens, and gave them the right to vote. That's what happened after the Civil War. If you look at the Civil War and you think that the Civil War is a shame and a black eye on this country, you're looking at it wrong. What caused the Civil War is a shame. But the Civil War was a people standing up against its own people to end something that was terrible. The Civil War was where one family decided to fight against itself to purge something that was disgusting from existence within that family. We killed each other over this disagreement, and what was good won in the Civil War. The Civil War is a proud moment in our history as a country. What led up to the Civil War is detestable. The selling and owning of people is detestable. And if you're ever in a conversation with somebody and they disagree with that standpoint, just say, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand your point, and I'm out. Because you're not going to rationalize with those people. That's not a civil perspective to have. And you're probably not going to change their minds. Whether you're marching through the streets, shouting some chant, or anything. If somebody believes that slavery or that the owning and selling of people as property is okay, you need to exit stage left or stage right. Linda, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Linda, you there?
Yes, I love what you just said. I was just thinking about it. As far as these protests goes, I believe when violence is brought into the protests, the entire message of what they're trying to do is totally lost. Mm-hmm. And I think that when the police have to stand down to people looting and burning businesses, that it just causes violence to escalate. Because what you're doing is sending a message to young people, go ahead and do this. We're not going to do anything to you.
You're speaking,
and so it keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
You're speaking the philosophy of Martin Luther King Jr. You're speaking the person who said, do not cause violence. Do not be the violent party that's involved here. Sit on this stool and do not leave because you have a right to sit there, but do not incite violence in any case, because he knew the value of nonviolence. And that's what you're saying. The second that they engage in that expression of hate through violence and vandalism, their message is overshadowed by their behavior and nothing gets solved.
Exactly. And I know you brought up what should they do with these protests. And I really felt when we had protests in Ferguson over Michael Brown that there were problems. I don't have a problem with people protesting, but what happened, it got so big that it was pulling law enforcement from all the different cities to where they couldn't take care of the people they needed to take care of. And I think that they need to maybe put some laws in place where if you're going to protest, you got to have it in the daytime, maybe in certain areas, because it was just pulling too many resources from so many places. But I also feel the youth of today is, I get this sense sometimes like the youth of today is telling the adults what to do.
Well, thank you, Linda, for your call. And you're spot on there in more ways than just race issues. There are so many areas right now where young folks are controlling their parents because their parents are afraid to discipline their kids because they want to be their kids' best friends. Abraham Lincoln was shot 5 days after Lee surrendered. And back in the day when you couldn't tweet, Lincoln didn't tweet. So if Donald Trump ever tells you Lincoln tweeted, that is fake news. But wars and battles don't just stop immediately. Back in the day, it took time and horses and messengers. Helena, Rich, Ben, I want to talk to you on the other side of this commercial break. We're going to talk more about this and some other things that are going on and some more sound that we got coming up. So stay tuned. More of the Annie Frey Show coming up next. Tweet at me at Annie Frey Show in the break. Be back in a minute.
Jaguar St. Louis wants you to experience the most powerful F-Type ever. The SVR Coupe, 575 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Test drive one today. And while you're there, check out the 2017 Jaguar XE for only $259 a month. Only at Jaguar St. Louis of Plaza Motor Company in Creve Coeur and JaguarSt.Louis.com. 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $24.95 down payment, $7.95 acquisition fee, and first month's payment of $259 due at signing. Excludes retailer fees, taxes, title, and registration fees. See dealer for details. Offer expires 9/4/17.
Mark Cox here for the folks at Rhino Shield. They're already booking up jobs for this fall. Call them right now. Tell them you want their fall special savings program. 877-25-RHINO is the phone number. I've had Rhino Shield on my house for about 8 or 9 years, and I can tell you, this exterior ceramic coating seals up the outside of your house like never before. Why do you have to repaint every few years? Well, it's the sun. In this case, it blocks 90% of the sun's UV rays, and it's moisture. 100% waterproof. That's the kind of product you're getting from Rhino Shield. They put it on the outside of your house, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. They even have special financing for 18 months with no interest. Try Rhino Shield. It is more affordable than you may think. Again, call them at 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Home Loan Expert is a direct endorsed FHA lender. We can offer you an FHA streamlined refinance with no appraisal, no lender fees, and save you hundreds of dollars a month. If you currently have an FHA loan and you're not taking advantage of the FHA streamlined refinance, you're throwing money away. Call me now, 314-781-9700. Or you can always apply online at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Missouri Residential Mortgage Licensee.
All right, Massa's Restaurant. Been around a long, long time. 50 years, kind of like Casey in a way, and they have 5 locations. If you know anything about the restaurant business, probably the toughest business there is. You've seen restaurants that you think were doing great, and you drive by, and all of a sudden they're a produce stand the next week. Massa's continues to grow with more locations. 5 locations. They're all over the place. They serve some of the best Italian. They serve great steaks and seafood. If you're trying to watch your weight, you can go in and get their house salad that is outstanding and make a meal out of their salad. Great pizza. Of course, everything's available to go if you want to do that too. And with 5 locations, pretty much any direction you go, you're going to find great, great food. I got an idea. A gift card will make a great idea, a great gift for someone. You know they're going to use it, and once they try it one time, they're going to be hooked just like you've been over the years. Again, there's 5 locations. The best way to find out the hours and locations is Google them. Go to Massa's, MASSA''S, Massa's. It's Massa's, of course.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM, East St. Louis. K254CR, St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk, 97.1.
Another weekend of raucous protests. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Hundreds rallying in Tennessee. Protesting in Memphis against the Confederate monument of Nathan Bedford Forrest. In Texas, hundreds rallying at Austin City Hall today.
Americans across this country refuse to go back to a time when we openly segregated and discriminated and terrorized black and brown communities.
And in Boston, an estimated 15,000 is taking to the streets carrying signs chanting, marching to counter a planned rally by some conservative activists. Fox's Steve Harrigan in Boston.
They marched about 2 miles
from Roxbury to the Boston Common here. There were real concerns before this march that the two sides could have a conflict, but it might be even wrong to speak about two sides here. There were about fewer than 100 right-wing protesters, the free speech protesters, and more than 15,000 on the other side. It was a real calm proceeding for the most part. There were 2 or 3 scuffles between police and protesters. We saw some brief scuffles here in the park, about 20 arrests overall.
This 1 week after the deadly violence in Charlottesville at a white nationalist rally, President Trump is weighing in, tweeting praise for the mayor of Boston and police for the relative calm there, also commending the counter-protesters for speaking out against bigotry. Another North Carolina city is cleaning up after vandals defaced the base of a Confederate soldier statue, this time in downtown Winston-Salem. Earlier on the Duke University campus in Durham, a statue of Robert E. Lee was damaged. That statue has since been removed. Well, they're mourning in Kissimmee, Florida, after 2 officers are killed by a gunman after a tussle Friday. Sergeant Sam Howard passing away today, along with Officer Matthew Baxter.
Both very committed to the community. They've been part of a number of our community initiatives.
Kissimmee Police Chief Jeff Odell there, accused cop killer Everett Miller is behind bars. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Partly sunny today, quite hot this afternoon with a high of 95 degrees. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Humidity increases with a low of just 75. Some sunshine tomorrow with an afternoon high of 90 for the solar eclipse. Then mostly cloudy and humid Tuesday with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Any thunderstorm can be severe with an afternoon high of 86 degrees. I'm meteorologist Steve Travis for FM News Talk 97.1.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. TJ Williams from the Institute of Natural Health. I would like to invite you to tune in to our show Wellness 101 Sundays at 3 p.m. During this exciting hour, we will be diving into the health topics that you want to know about. We will be talking about your concerns and giving real-life examples of ways people can heal and the transformations we have seen with our clients. So tune in to Wellness 101 Sundays at 3, where we will cut through the nonsense to provide you common sense, science-based strategies for a healthy life. That's Wellness 101 Sundays at 3. And you can find us online at theinstituteofnaturalhealth.com.
Kubota's Orange Opportunity Sales Event is going on now. If you've got land to care for, get an M5 tractor with your choice of 4 models, each with a Kubota clean diesel engine and your choice of transmissions. And right now you can get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 48 months, or great customer instant rebates. Now through September 30th, 2017. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and terms.
Visit MissouriKubotaDealers.com or IllinoisKubotaDealers.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
Listen to what Jeff says about Andro 400.
This product is so much better than even some of the advertisements. It's changed every aspect of my life. I was a 40 waist, and with the Andro 400, I'm down to 36. I'm 54 years old, and people have said to me that I look better than I ever have, and that I look like I'm in my early 40s. Hands down, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm telling you, it's the Andro. People immediately notice the burst of energy, my skin, my energy, plus the weight loss, the toning of the body, and the increased strength and endurance that I have in the gym. Where I was and where I am now, night and day. And Andro 400 has made the difference. My customers, my friends, my family, everybody's noticing the difference.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger like Jeff, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Andro400.com.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
The incident in Barcelona.
Carnage and mayhem sicken us all.
Yet another terrorist attack.
Find and punish those responsible.
Stay connected.
Moving monuments doesn't change race relations in our city.
The president has not been able to demonstrate stability, competence.
This is
a senator wanting to assassinate the president.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Not going to resign.
Younger, smarter, better.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
But I do think it's good to have these conversations. Unfortunately, when you're having these conversations with friends and colleagues, it starts to get very emotional in the sense of people are called racist and all that, and I don't think that's healthy. I think it's good that we're having a conversation, but please be civil about it. There's passionate people from all sides. You have people that have family members that fought in the Confederacy, and so they have their opinions on it as well, and historians go back and forth on what they feel is the correct history.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. Good to be with you. You can tweet at me throughout the show at Annie Frey Show. I'd love to interact with you there, especially on the breaks. Also, did you know we have a webcam? It's up at 971talk.com/Annie, and you can watch the show from there. You can also check out the podcasts. And every once in a while, throughout the week, I'm always on Mark Cox's show, which is a midday show here on 97.1 on Wednesdays. I'm on Jamie Allman's show on Friday mornings, and I put up the podcasts from those, the cuts from those shows, both there at my podcast. So if you subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, you can go to get it on the website at 971talk.com/Annie. You can also go to Stitcher or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you do and you like it, would you please rate it for me? Because then more people will find out about my show. And I'm really excited about it. And I love talking to you and having these civil conversations like Lawrence Jones was saying there. He's a black millennial who has really had a strong voice in the last couple of years, who was actually in studio here at 97.1 2 years ago when the Ferguson stuff hit the fan. On Sunday nights, I was on with Mark Cox way back in the day, and Lawrence came in because he was going to go out into Ferguson and talk to people, have real conversations, which is the most valuable thing that we can learn out of this, and that's what we're doing right here. So if you do like the podcast, please give us a rating and a recommendation. We appreciate that. I'm going to take some phone calls. Ben's been holding for a while. Ben, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah. I'm concerned about the education of the cultures today. I mean, white and black. You know, I'm trying to be a Christian, and it's a tough world, you know, because everywhere you turn to, you got movies, news articles, social media, everything. And I think it keeps it flared up. And I really don't believe, you know, I believe everybody is created equal, you know, but I believe there's a lot of education that is lacking out there, white and black people. You know, I mean, Abraham Lincoln, you know, with a stroke of a pen, you know, basically he freed slavery, but he also didn't believe, he stated at one time that he didn't feel that African Americans was equal to the white race. But we're not taking his statue down from Washington, you know.
Do you think they need to be?
Memorial. No, I do not, because, you know, I mean, this is my opinion, you know. I mean, it's like you said earlier, you know, what is going to be done with the statues? Just like Martin Luther King's statue should never be touched. He was a great man. I believed in a lot of things he believed in. But there's like for instance, I mean, you can get into so deep with this conversation. You know, Malcolm X believed that the races should stay with each other. They should not intermingle. You know, he stated that, but a lot of people don't even know that. But you know, you got white people that dislike Malcolm X, and then some black people chant Malcolm X, and a lot of people didn't even know that about him.
Ben, can I ask you, just for context, are you black or are you white?
I'm white.
Okay.
But also, you know, like there's a lot of black people that didn't believe that James Earl Ray even shot Mr. King. But, you know, but when you have the social media flaring everything up, it keeps the races against each other. And I think it's awful, you know, like, you know, the March in Selma and all that they, you know, the black people have every right. I think slavery was an awful thing. And I would hate to know it was done to any of my family. And, you know, but also I do feel, and I cannot help to feel that, you know, you can't really say it without it sounding bad, but, you know, I don't feel that the African Americans, some of the African Americans could handle that, you know, there was finally a rally on the white side, and, you know, they're blowing it all out of proportion. Not them, not the race, but every time you turn it on, it's this, you know, oh, rally, 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 you know. But there's always been a lot of Black Lives Matter protests and stuff like that, but it wasn't blowed up all over the media as much.
Oh, you know,
but the first time that a white rally,
I think
happened.
I gotta say, Ben, and I really appreciate your call, and I appreciate you listening to this show. I think that the Ferguson protests and the rioting that went on during that, which is what helped really spawn Black Lives Matter, along with what happened in Florida. His name escapes me. He was walking down the street. Yeah, we'll come up with it in just a second. Yeah. That event, what happened in Ferguson, was the media event of the year. And we could, you know, I remember laying in my bed watching the coverage, live coverage by the every network, having people down there and showing what was going on. I mean, it was exposed. It was certainly exposed. The education that we need to have as people, I think it's a cultural education, not black-white cultural, but civility, treating each other with respect and being okay with having disagreements. When I was on the Think Tank earlier this week on Dave Glover's show, which you can get if you subscribe to my podcast or the Dave Glover Show podcast, we talked about racism and who's racist. And Charlie Tuna said, you know what, I think everybody's a little racist. And I go, I disagree with that. I don't feel like I'm racist. And I didn't think that anyone else in that room was racist. But I said we could be prejudiced. And they kind of laughed at me. And I was like, no, I think it's different. Prejudice is how we feel inside. And you will profile somebody. If you're walking down the street at a specific time of day or night, you will profile people. Trayvon Martin just thought of it. You will profile people, and because that's really what seemed to happen in the Trayvon Martin case. There was an assessment that was made on the physical appearance of this kid, and you make a decision. You react to that. Being racist, it's a behavior. It's a decision. It's a choice. And when you have these prejudiced thoughts based on your own personal experiences, whether it's through things that you've tangibly had affect your life or things that you've learned from people you know and people you associate and places you go, if you're a racist, you're taking those inner prejudices and you're acting upon them in a way that is different towards one person of a race and another. We all have prejudices. I'm a person who believes that humanity is not inherently good. I don't think that humans are constantly out looking to do the good thing. I think we're inherently predisposed to be selfish, self-centered, self-preserving, and I don't think that we are out to constantly make peace and harmony, sunshine, puppies, and rainbows. I don't think that that's the way we are as humans. Not blacks, whites, all the other colors, I don't think we're inherently good. We have these thoughts, we have negative thoughts, and it is our choice as humans who are capable of processing thought at a much higher intellectual level than any other part of God's great creation. We are the ones who get to take those inner thoughts and act upon them in a certain way. We make a decision based on those inner thoughts. And if you choose to have a prejudice inside you, it's up to you to be intellectually advanced enough to suppress that and not act upon them. I think it would be a lie to say that most people don't have some form of prejudice in them somewhere. And prejudice doesn't have to just be specific to race. You see somebody, you make an assessment. But it's how you choose to act after that that can determine whether or not you are a racist person. But I don't think we're inherently racist. Let's take another phone call here. Helena, thank you so much for holding and thanks for calling the show. Helena, you there? She must have put her phone down. Yes. Helena, one more time. You've been waiting for so long. I don't want to lose you. All right, we're going to... Yeah, Helena? Helena!
Thank you.
Helena is there. I wanted to talk to you.
Yes, I'm so happy. Just a moment. I'm so happy you took my call.
Helena, just so that we can hear
refugee
Helena
from communism. And I am so proud to be an American citizen. And I like to give you a little history lesson about the America has the most beautiful Constitution and Bill of Rights that has never happened in any country before. We are an experiment in freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Amen.
And
go on, Helena.
Yes, and not only that, America is in a cultural war today, and it's being destroyed. But nobody wants to talk about it. It's communism. They tried to do in America in the 30s with the workers, in the 60s with students. Now they're doing in the 20s, 21st century, with the Black Lives Matters. Like whatever, the black slavery. Mm-hmm. Look, slavery was legal, just like abortion is legal today. Mm-hmm. You know, so we have to understand it was a system that was perpetuated by our government, mm-hmm. and it was legal. So now we cannot, now that we are mature citizens in 21st century, we can look back and say how bad it was. But let me tell you, slavery today exists in Cuba, North Korea, and China. It did in Poland under communism, in Russia under communism. That's called slavery. Mm-hmm. And nobody talks about that. I grew up in slavery. I came to America, and I went to college, Hunter's College. And when they told me communism was so great, when I lived in DP camps, and we couldn't even come to America because we could not be sponsored. Now we have all kinds of refugees coming in this country. They don't have to be sponsored. They give homes, cars, and everything else. It took me 6 years, my family, to come to America after the Australian government took us.
Helena, your story is so amazing, and your story is the American story.
It's an American story.
It is, and you are what we are celebrating, and you are different than me. You and I are not the same. We are not from the same place. We don't have the same experiences, but we get to enjoy what it means to be an American at the same time.
That's what I enjoy, the freedom, because I have children, I have grandchildren, and I'm telling you, America is the best country in the world where citizens have the right.
Helena, you were my official favorite call in the history of my show. Thank you
Let me tell you, I'm so proud that you have a show on 97.1, and I would like you to take over the Diaper Baby, Socialist Diaper Baby on Almond Show on Fridays.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Helena, for giving us a call. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
God bless America, and God bless you. Yes, thank you. Helena, that is not a plant. I could not plant a better phone call than that. It was amazing. I'm going to talk to Jamie Allman here coming up after this quick break that we're going to take. Jamie is going to tell us about what he thinks about what's going on right now with the race issues, but also a huge news story dropped yesterday afternoon after he got off the air here. He's on 5 to 9 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday on 97.1. And Steve Bannon is out in the Trump administration. Did he leave? Did he get asked to leave? Did he get told to leave? And what is Steve Bannon going to do next? Jamie Allman's going to tell us what he thinks coming up next. Stay tuned at Annie Frey Show on Twitter over the break. Chat with me. I'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Stay here, and I'll turn right back around.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
I don't want to leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Make your plans to join the Mark Cox Show for the solar eclipse, Monday, August 21st at Sugar Creek Winery, as we'll be broadcasting live under the Path of Totality. Register with Sugar Creek, and you can get a t-shirt and solar glasses while supplies last. Get all the details at 971talk.com.
Hey folks, it's so true. Americans love their homes, often their most valued asset. That's why when you're planning a full exterior restoration, the most crucial decision you'll make is which company you'll trust with a project this important. If you want your home to have a distinctive style, Banner Construction is the right choice for you. At Banner, they specialize in working with James Hardie building products. James Hardie is the #1 choice of architects from coast to coast. But the real magic comes from Banner's expert engineering and design, coupled with extraordinary craftsmanship and attention to detail. For 24 years, Banner Construction has maintained a standard well above the ordinary. They concentrate on all facets of exterior restoration, including Beechworth Windows, a division of James Hardie. Beechworth Windows are made of rich, solid wood on the inside and low-maintenance fiberglass on the outside for lasting beauty. Call today, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Going to the dentist doesn't have to be such a pain. Hi, I'm General Dentist Pete Spolito with West County Dental. For over 13 years, my team and I have been building a strong foundation of trust within our community by treating all of our patients like family. Our ultimate goal is to help you achieve optimal dental and overall health using state-of-the-art equipment like laser and 3D imaging, modern techniques, and a high standard of care. With options like same-day crowns, emergency appointments, dental implants, Invisalign and root canals, rest assured all your dental needs can be met right here in my office. We also offer soothing sedation for those with a higher level of fear. From start to finish, we want to make every moment of your visit as peaceful, painless, and stress-free as possible so you feel right at home.
West County Dental is centrally located. Call today and take advantage of their new patient general or periodontal cleaning special. Learn more at 314-561-9442. That's 314-561-9442. Or visit dentistrystressfree.com.
For over 40 years, Apache Village RV has been family-owned and operated. They strive on customer satisfaction and want to give you the best buying experience possible. Quality family time is incredibly hard to come by these days with the distractions of technology. So Apache Village wants to help bring your family together in an RV. And camping is one of the best ways to do that while going on an adventure. With over 500 RVs, new and used. Major markdowns are happening right now on the 2017s to make room for the 2018s arriving daily. Apache Village RV has something to fit everyone's budget. Check out the travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes from top manufacturers like Fleetwood, Jayco, and Keystone, with a full service department and parts store to get your camper ready for the road. Family owned since 1975, Apache Village RV strives to give their customers the best possible buying experience while helping families create memories that'll last a lifetime. Go one better. Go Apache Village. Dunn Road in Hazelwood, open every day but Sunday. Like Apache Village RV on Facebook and check out their website for special offers. ApacheVillageRV.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
But not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me.
I stand with the president.
He doesn't know right from wrong.
Our hearts are in Charlottesville.
The president is denounced
racism, bigotry.
They're idiots.
The news and talk station for St. Louis.
To renegotiate NAFTA,
Mexico believes sanctuary jurisdictions across this country.
FM News Talk 97.1.
We are not going backwards.
Younger, smarter, better.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,
I see what's happening, yeah. You're face to face with greatness and it's strange. You don't even know how you feel. It's adorable. Well, it's nice to see that humans never change.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Big end. Yes, it's really me. It's Maui. Breathe it in.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. It's not every conservative news talk show that you can listen to and get Moana bump music. Jamie Allman joins us now, who has little girls in his house and knows a little bit about Moana.
A little bit about Moana. I know every word of every song.
I had a revelation on the way over to the studio today, and that scene of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, singing "You're Welcome." It could be the liberal campaign song because he spends the whole song telling, like, of course you're thankful for every single thing that I've done, and then Moana's like, dude, you're the problem. That's why I'm here.
Well, it's true. And, here's the thing, though. It's the one thing, even when it was the whole Lion King phase, everything else, I was never able, I could see all the political ramifications in there, but something kept me from picking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd sit there, I'd be watching the movie with the girls or something, and I'd be like, wait a minute, what? And I'd have to shut my mouth again,
You don't want to ruin it for him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
It's something to watch the news, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you spend enough time as a parent watching a specific movie over and over and over again. It's like, how do I entertain myself now? And then you're like, oh, I get it. Maui is the Progressive Party. So there's crazy stuff going on right now. And speaking of liberals saying you're welcome, a lot of what has happened in this race baiting culture that we live in now that has, issues on both sides of the color spectrum has, in my opinion, stemmed from the identity politics mostly pushed by the left in the United States. What do you think that we are looking at right now? Do you think the problem is as big as the media is showing it, or do you think that the media is giving these idiots a bigger stage than they deserve?
Well, they're giving the idiots a bigger stage they deserve. And in fact, CNN did a whole story about Antifa and talked about how actually they're just simply violence is their means to peace. And these are the same people who, this is kind of a degeneration of the if you want peace, work for justice type of thing. But that was coded. They love to talk about dog whistles. You talk about a dog whistle. If there's any dog whistle out there, it's that. If you want peace, work for justice. Like, screw you. You mean I gotta beg you for peace? I'm not going to do it. Peace will come when we adhere to our constitutional values and the laws. But you're not gonna make peace by performing your own form of justice. And that's what these guys are doing. Antifa is just a kind of a retarded, and I mean retarded is in the term that it's supposed to be, and not in the pejorative, kind of negative type of term. But it's a retardation of that concept, and it's a willful kind of stepping up of that. But unfortunately, though, these guys have met their match now. Now that Bannon is out of the White House, you talk about intellectual political civil war. It's happening. I would never want any kind of physical civil war, but our civil wars has to come through information and ideas and calling out people when they're wrong. And believe me, if you look at even the kind of proliferation that Breitbart and other media outlets have, it's no match for what these other guys are dealing with.
So what happens now? Steve Bannon has been, depending on the facts of the matter of how important he's been to where Trump has been and where he is going, he has definitely been pegged by the left as basically the crypt keeper of the Donald Trump administration. He's out now. Some people are saying he's going to go straight after Donald Trump, and some people are saying he's going to go after Donald Trump's enemies. What happens next?
He will never go after Donald Trump. He is the reason why Donald Trump is president of the United States, even though Trump doesn't really like to hear that. But it was because of Bannon and his insistence on a strategy that focused on working class Americans that President Trump is where he is. And I realize sometimes President Trump's ego doesn't let him allow that. And I think he mentioned that in his soundbite a while back. And I understand that. I get it. I don't want, I wouldn't want somebody, going out there and saying, I'm the reason for Jamie Allman's success because of all. I get that. It's a normal human reaction. But Steve Bannon is never going to turn on Trump. Obviously, he will, like as you saw with McMaster and these kind of things, he will challenge him on certain ideas. But this is good for Donald Trump. This Bannon Unleashed is going to be a good thing for him because more often than not, it'll be supportive of his ideas and his agenda, and it will be calling out these people like Lindsey Graham, because I've long held, and more recently held it even stronger, that President Trump's worst enemies really aren't Antifa, they aren't Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi, they're the GOP.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's become very clear right now, and Bannon's the only guy I think who can credibly go after these elements of the GOP that really don't have any interest in keeping President Trump around. And there might be a situation even where Bannon takes it even further and starts to lay the groundwork for a brand new party that ultimately President Trump might even lead in 2020. But that's kind of down the line. But you saw even today where President Trump was praising counter-protesters. That clearly is a method here. There clearly is a means by which President Trump is going to not mess around with the small ball here. He's not going to mess around with the people with scarves over their faces or Maxine Waters and that kind of thing. He's going to go after the very people who are really truly have the power to stand in front of his ideas. That would be the media and the GOP. Right now, an Antifa guy or some of these loons out there, they're not standing in front of his ideas, but the other people are, and they're more entrenched and they're more established and they're more franchised. And Bannon's the only one who can actually keep them honest.
Yeah, so we have General Flynn, Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, Sean Spicer, Scaramucci for a hot second. These are all people who have been in and who are now out. Who is surrounding Donald Trump right now? Because that's a pretty sizable list. And, the truth of the matter is, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know what the turnover looked like in the Obama administration or Bush's or Clinton's administrations, how quick they, adjusted as they went along. Who is advising the president? Who is in his ear and helping steer the administration and support the president now that Steve Bannon is gone among those others?
Well, I would assume, as Laura Ingraham does, that Kellyanne Conway is going to take a greater role in this. And, really, honestly, General Kelly, these guys, they're good people. And they're going to keep the president more steady because you can't go rogue all the time. And so you have to really kind of focus on that. But what we're seeing right now, though, is a situation where, you can't compare President Trump to any past president because his administration, he's so inexperienced and so naive, so new to all this, and in fact even naive for that matter, that you can't really. It's hardly a surprise you have.
Are you in trouble, Jamie?
Just to make sure they're passing by my house and I'm stopping.
It's an interesting thing I want to point out, when Chris Wallace was on your show, and I remember listening live, you had Chris Wallace on Thursday morning, and he was talking to you, and he got pulled over in the middle of the interview, and it made national news.
Right, yes, I know. Well, this is how I find out there's no fire at my house, when the fire truck passes it.
Yeah, you're like just holding your breath like, okay, at least I'm good.
I'm that detached. No, but truly, though, what's happening here is you do have a situation where you've got a new president. Now, I'm not excusing him of anything. I mean, there is an element of mismanagement, I'm sure, that you can tag to this. But keep in mind, too, that President Trump he's never been in politics before. It's not a shock to me that there are moving parts and changing things. People are making changes that are different from other administrations and how they do it. I mean, these folks were so established and everything else. Again, I don't want to sit there and say, hey, just excuse him for everything, but it seems to me that this is not a surprise given how young he is in this process. It doesn't surprise me at all.
So last question I want to ask you, since we're talking about these riots and protests and marches and everything, a lot of people have criticized Donald Trump for his reaction, but if Donald Trump wakes up and gets out of the wrong side of his bed in the morning, literally he will get criticized for it. Do you think that Donald Trump handled that well, or do you think that there's any room for him to have handled it better?
You mean the Charlottesville thing?
Yep. Yeah.
Honestly, I got to tell you, because it actually hasn't happened before, people keep talking about how presidents in the past have reacted to things. They've never had to react to a situation like this. They've never had to react to a situation where you didn't know who was good, who was bad, who was involved. You knew there were some people up there because you knew defending the Confederate monument. You knew many people were up there, as the New York Times pointed out, who weren't actually right-wing Nazi freakos. And you knew people who were protesting on the other side weren't all Antifa. And the bottom line is, I think this was really clearly a situation where I think the government of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, wants to be president in 2020, absolutely wanted this to burn. It was no different than Ferguson. But president's response, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what people want from this guy. I don't know even who would know what a proper response is, except, hey, listen, things are happening on both sides, because you couldn't automatically make the decision that the right was wrong. They had the permit, for crying out loud. I mean, and the other people didn't. I mean, if anything, and I know that their viewpoints are reprehensible, but their permit was valid. So it's not like you can't. So the president had a lot of things that falls in play. That one day that he responded to it, then Tuesday he doubled back, and they criticized him for actually reading it off a teleprompter. That's all they could come up with is, well, it was great, but he read it off a teleprompter. It's like, at some point, most Americans, you see the latest poll showing 40% of those polls. I know this is all on partisan lines, but 40% among those polls, that's a huge number, 40%. 40% of people said that, you know what, probably both sides contributed to the violence there. They're not equally to blame for her death, because there's only one person to blame for her death, and that's the person who ran over her. But 40% of Americans, I mean, that's a huge number if polls are to be believed. So most Americans who watched what was going on, they pretty much assessed the same thing that President Trump assessed, and he wound up being right on pretty much all levels.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. And I think we're going to continue to see more of these types of things bubble up, and hopefully Donald Trump and his team will be prepared to have a quick and concise statement. I just wish he would have maybe said less on Saturday, but said more with what he said. And again, I said this. I said this on Thursday when I was on the think tank. Donald Trump was not elected to be the smooth talking great communicator going to come in here and solve the race war. I think people thought that's exactly what President Obama was going to be. But the problems that we have right now in the United States are the fact that people don't have jobs. And Ronald Reagan also said that the best jobs, or the best welfare that we can give the social program, is to get people jobs. And hopefully that Donald Trump can continue to do that and provide people some of their own stability instead of having to always go back to the government for more.
President Trump likes to riff like your dad.
Yeah.
He just likes to sit there and just like talk and go on and on. And that's his style, although, again, because of the environment we live in and with the media we have, you can't do that. I think you're absolutely right about that, how sometimes you say too much. Tuesday was too much. But for us, though, it was great because it's like he's telling the truth, and it was borne out even by the New York Times about, like, some good people who were involved in the in the movement to not tear down the monument. But President Trump's weakness, which is his strength in many ways for a lot of people, is that he just likes to sit there and with a beer can in his hand, even though he doesn't drink, and he just likes to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of us like that. I happen to like that, but in the current construct, sometimes you do have to make adjustments that you suggest, which would be you have to realize who you're talking to. You don't have to kowtow to them and kiss up to them, but you do have to realize the construct within which you live. So I get you there.
I think so. Jamie, thanks for giving us some time on a Saturday. You had a busy day playing with former Cardinal baseball players at the Legends game, so hopefully you didn't pull anything.
By the way, may I just tell something to Jason Isringhausen?
Yeah.
Or he's friggin', I was on to him, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was ready to get on him, and I swung at a couple, then I tipped one off, and then I knew I was on to him, and he threw me a curveball at a celebrity baseball game.
That's a compliment, right?
It struck me out.
Well, you know what? If Jason Isringhausen is the one who struck you out, you're probably fine. If Mark Cox strikes you out, then you should probably be upset.
Well, and by the way, I was responsible, though. I did get an RBI single. I was responsible for 2 of our 6 runs. So
great.
I recovered, but it wasn't Jason who was the pitcher.
Yeah, well, you can't win them all. But if like I said, if Isringhausen is throwing a ball past you, it's not the worst day of your life.
They were great people. It was a ton of fun, and we had a great time.
All right, Jamie, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Bye-bye.
I'll see you. Bye.
We're going to take some more phone calls here up next right after the break. If you want to weigh in on us, I'd love to have you on 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. Ross, Rich, Tom. That sounds like sitcoms names, Ross, Rich, and Tom. That's the newest show on NBC. Probably not. We'll talk to you up next. A couple more minutes left in the Annie Frey Show, then Downrange is coming up right after we get done. Tweet at me at Annie Frey Show during the break, and I'll get back to you. Be back in a minute.
It's okay, you're welcome. I guess it's just my way of being me. You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, come to think of it, kid, honestly, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
Well, Maui when he's on a breakaway and the tapestry here in my skin.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Look at that, mini Maui. Just look at that.
Look for the 97.1 Freedom Fleet out and about this summer in the St. Louis region. Check out the list of events at 971talk.com and ask for a sticker when you see the 97.1 Freedom Fleet, powered by Dent Devil of St. Louis, professional cosmetic car care.
What's the best way to prevent or eliminate wrinkles, sunspots, and other issues that may cause you to look older than you feel? At Right Now Plastic Surgery, you can avoid these problems and get ahead of the aging process. It's easier than you think, and we can help you stay as young and beautiful as you feel. Call 314-878-8600 to schedule a consultation or go to RightNowerPlasticSurgery.com. Stay beautiful with Right Now, 878-8600.
Attention, this is an investor notice. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? Then listen to this. The Government Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit which contains 2 DVDs and a step-by-step report that will show you how to earn guaranteed returns between 15 and 35% yearly, which is completely secured by the government. They'll even show you how to do this inside your own retirement accounts. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without risk, call 1-800-597-8179 online now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for pennies on the dollar and buy houses for as low as $500, all from your home with little or no money, working only 5 to 10 hours per week. Call 800-597-8179 right now to get your free tax lien kit, plus 2 free tickets to a live training event and a free $20 Visa gift card just for attending. Call 800-597-8179. That's 800-597-8179 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Listen to what Jeff says about Andro 400.
This product is so much better than even some of the advertisements. It's changed every aspect of my life. I was a 40 waist, and with the Andro 400, I'm down to 36. I'm 54 years old, and people have said to me that I look better than I ever have, and that I look like I'm in my early 40s. Hands down, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm telling you, it's the Andro. People immediately notice the burst of energy, my skin, my energy, plus the weight loss, the toning of the body, and the increased strength and endurance that I have in the gym. Where I was and where I am now, night and day. And Andro 400 has made the difference. My customers, my friends, my family, everybody's noticing the difference.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger like Jeff, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Andro400.com.
The Home Loan Expert is a direct endorsed FHA lender. We can offer you an FHA streamlined refinance with no appraisal, no lender fees, and save you hundreds of dollars a month. If you currently have an FHA loan and you're not taking advantage of the FHA streamlined refinance, you're throwing money away. Call me now, 314-781-9700. Or you can always apply online at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Missouri Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Sometimes, what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises, no anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. That bit of nothing is everything. And that's what you get when you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from your authorized dealer. Because only an authorized Mercedes-Benz dealership has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Only Mercedes-Benz can back their certified pre-owned vehicles with an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, with roadside assistance included. It's time to experience confidence that's as unlimited as the warranty. Visit the Certified Pre-Owned Sales event now through August 31st, and you'll receive 2 years of prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Hey, it's Tim Jones. Join me for the Tim Jones Show Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. We'll have Tim's Top 3, Media Malpractice, the top newsmakers of the week, and your phone calls.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1. Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Give me one reason.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. Good to be with you. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter. You can tweet at me throughout the week and throughout the show and on the breaks and everything. It's fun. At Annie Frey Show. Also, Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. If you have a Facebook like to spare, I would love to have it. Go there and check out the Facebook page, and you can stay in touch with us throughout the week. And then our podcast, you can find at 971talk.com/Annie, at iTunes, at Stitcher. Go there, subscribe, please. And if you like what you hear, if you could rate it, that does me a lot of good, because then more people will find it. And that's great, right? Just do a little rating and liking socialism here. Just spread the wealth around. Give everything you have and help me. Isn't that the way it goes? We had a phone call earlier in this show from Helena, and it was an amazing phone call. And if you are wanting to hear that, make sure you do like the Facebook page. We're going to put it up there, the audio of it up there, and also subscribe to the podcast. Ross wanted to talk about Helena. Ross, thanks for calling the show.
Thanks, Annie. Yeah, Helena is the perfect example of the people on the right whenever we talk about immigration and people wanting to come to this country and that love this country. That woman's passion and her love for this country is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kinds of immigrants that us patriots that are so hard on immigration, or we get pegged as being tough. That's what we want. And honestly, I wish more Americans, more specifically on the left, loved their country as much as Miss Helena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of liken it to, not to liken Helena to one of the puppies I used to have. I used to have two dogs. One of them was Gibson, one of them was Duncan. And Duncan we adopted as a 6 week or 10-week-old puppy, and he lived with us from, basically as long as he could remember. And he thought he had it great. He was kind of a pain. He liked to try to run away. He wasn't as well behaved as he should have been. And he was a hunting dog, so he always wanted to try to escape and chase things. And then we rescued a dog that was about 2 or 3 years old, and his name was Gibson, and he was found on Highway 270 running along the side of the road. And he was rescued, and my husband went into the shelter and picked him out and rescued him and took him into our house. And that dog looked at us like we hung the moon. He appreciated so much the things that he had. And I'm not saying that these dogs are so intellectual to be able to process all that, but I think there's something interesting there. When you're born with something and you don't know any different, you don't realize how good you have it. And when you're in a situation where you don't have anything, or you don't have those freedoms like Helena experienced, when you get it, you can't appreciate it enough. It's like you want to shout it from the mountaintops, which is what Helena was doing. And just like you said, immigration is a good thing, but we have something extremely valuable here in this country, and you don't just give away something that's extremely valuable, because you need the person who takes that thing to appreciate it and care for it and nurture it. And that's why we need to protect who comes in here and make sure that they're invested in the same thing that we appreciate so much, just like you said.
Right, because I love my country. I was born here. This lady was not born here, and she loves her country. She loves our country just the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish more immigrants would come out and speak like Helena.
Yeah.
Because I think that it would diminish the left's argument. People love America. We don't need to apologize for America.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go out into the real world and in some of these other countries and see what these folks have to deal with. We want the best of the best, and we want people to love our country. That's not too much to ask. You wouldn't have anybody in your home. You wouldn't invite anyone into your home that hated you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Ross. Thank you very much for the phone call. I wanted to take another quick call. Rich, I don't have a whole lot of time, but go ahead with your thought.
Oh, thank you, dear, for taking my call. And Helena's a tough act to follow, I tell you, but she made a point that I would like to challenge you with a little,
mm-hmm.
and that is about communism being equal to slavery. So these are more morally relative things in a degree. I mean, abortion in some eyes is worse or equal to slavery in its abhorrence. So is communism. And if we're going to condemn, the point you made earlier, if we're going to condemn the white nationalists, for example, or the supremacists, whatever they were, even though they weren't really there,
mm-hmm.
They were plants probably. But if you're going to condemn them for this moral crusade, then we have to condemn Islam and Judaism. Both of them call for genocide in some cases. They call for extirpation of all cultures. In all cases, they call for world dominance. They are nationalists. They are supremacists. They are, in many cases, racist. So before we just attack white males, and white males in particular, for this supremacism, and you were saying earlier that they're not even worth talking to, just walk out of the conversation, we should apply that equally, not just to to white males or white nationalists, white supremacists, whatever they were. So,
I'm gonna say, Rich, that if I experience somebody who has the same hate in their heart and is willing to act on that hate for whatever their reason is in their thought process, I'm going to treat them all the same. I'm not going to give them my time of my day to have that conversation. White, black, if you're Muslim, I understand that, but there are lots of people who fit in all those categories. Way more people who subscribe to those different characteristics, those identities that have nothing to do with white supremacy or jihadism. And we need to separate the two.
Right. But, observant Jews and Muslims actually command slavery up to the point of world domination.
Well, if one of those people comes up to you and says that they want to kill you because of who you are, then I think that you have the right to react accordingly. But you can't assume that just because somebody identifies as Jewish or Muslim or whatever it might be, that you get to apply that same hatred because you are doing to them what you're...
I'm not talking about hatred, but I beg to differ. If somebody is observant Islam or Jewish, they literally do call for the supremacism of their ideology, and in the case of the Jews, for example, the Kohanim and the Levites, that's a race. The Davidic kingdom is a theocratic kingdom handed down through blood. It intends to produce a Messiah, which Christians believe is Jesus, to rule the world with their Torah, and the Muslims the same with their Sharia. But I didn't want to get the point. I just wanted to make that point that we're all hysterical because it's our culture about what we know, which is the white nationalists and the Confederates and so forth. But, only about 1.3% of Southerners owned slaves, and I think what they were fighting for was the right of self-determination, the right for their states, respectively, to determine how to dismantle or deal with slavery rather than have it imposed on them, just like we would do with abortion or what have you, or religious freedom. So most Southerners were not necessarily even in favor of slavery.
Rich, I gotta go. I got to be out of here in 30 seconds. I appreciate your call and I appreciate your opinion. I don't see the parallel that you're drawing. I think there are people who believe the way you believe. I'm not one of them. I think we need to start treating each other based on the person that you're talking to, not the category they fit into. We'd all be a lot better, wouldn't we? I sure think so. Thank you so much for listening. Please go download the podcast to the show and rate it, like it, do whatever you can to it. I appreciate you being here. Stay tuned. Downrange is coming up next. A lot of good stuff still ahead on FM News Talk 97.1. See you next week.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is Sean Vinson, president of Vinson Mortgage. Our family has over 27 years of experience in the mortgage business. We know that experience is critical, but a solid, trustworthy reputation for providing a stress-free and seamless process, all while treating our clients with courtesy and respect, is the Vinson Mortgage difference. Just listen